In this video lecture, we will discuss how to write a summary and response essay. As the name indicates, a summary and response essay involves summarizing a source and then responding to it. The first step is to summarize. A summary is a short, unified paragraph or paragraphs that are faithful to the structure and meaning of the original work. However, it is developed in your own words and includes only the most essential elements of the original. Once you summarize a source, the next step is to analyze it. To analyze means to take apart or to examine carefully. A strong analysis helps get beyond superstitions, ideologies, and false assumptions in order to develop better explanations, better goals, and better practices. The goal is to understand how something works, what it means, and why it might be significant. When analyzing an article, you will study the context in which the essay was written, the audience for whom the essay was intended, the purpose of the essay, the organizational forms, the tone, and any other rhetorical tools the author might have used to accomplish the article's purpose. Once you have summarized the piece and completed an analysis, your next step is to provide your personal reflection on the piece. In this section, you can discuss what ideas do you find interesting, why did you find them interesting. The idea is to explain to your audience how you think or feel about a particular text. Identify the article's strengths and weaknesses in reasoning and logic, in the quality of supporting examples, and in organization and style. Cite examples from the original text. The steps involved in writing a summary include reading the article carefully and highlighting the main ideas covered in each paragraph. When you're done reading and highlighting the article, read all the highlighted statements. Next, put the original text away and write down a sentence that conveys the main idea of the article. In the same way, continue writing the other highlighted ideas in your own words. Begin your summary by attributing your author and the original piece. I will talk about attributive tags on the next slide. Keep the summary short and concise. Adding attributive tags to your piece help in two ways. First, it clearly distinguishes your source's work from yours. Second, it provides the author's credentials that show that the source you're using is credible and worth citing. It adds strength to your piece by showing that your piece is supported by reputable experts. Practice adding a citation sandwich. A citation sandwich is when you place the source material, whether it is a quote, summary, or paraphrase, between an attributive tag at the beginning and a parenthetical citation at the end. Of course, do not forget to relate the cited material to your own text. For example, Dr. Dennis Burgers, professor of linguistics at Stanford University, explains in his article. And then you have the quoted material followed by the parenthetical citation. This tag shows us that our source's author is an expert in his field and thus trustworthy. The parenthetical citation shows that the cited section is from the following page of the text. Here in the parenthetical citation, you can also add the author's last name or the title of the article. But since this example provides the author's last name and the title of the article in the attributive tag, it is okay to provide just the page number. However, do not create page numbers. Provide page numbers only if they are from the original text. If you do not have the original page numbers, Provide the author's last name or the title of the article. Now that we know how to add an attributive tag, let us discuss the parts in developing a summary analysis response essay. First comes the introduction. In the introductory paragraph, you will talk about the central message covered in the article. Provide any background and historical information necessary to fill in the gaps and get the audience engaged. This is a good place to define any terms that might need defining. Share information about the author, show their credentials and expertise. It is my personal suggestion, do not start your introductory paragraph with a question. Avoid unnecessary questions, they weaken your piece. Do not state the obvious. Provide information that will grab your audience's attention and help them understand the article. Add a thesis statement. Your thesis statement should not be argumentative. You are writing informative papers in this class. As such, your thesis should be informative, not argumentative. List the strengths and weaknesses of the piece. Do not make the introductory paragraph too short or too long. The body paragraphs of this type of essay can be organized in two different ways. In the first method, you will dedicate an entire paragraph or two to each category. For example, the summary will be written in 1 to 2 paragraphs. Then you will write 1 to 2 paragraphs analyzing the strengths of the piece. Next, you will write a paragraph or two analyzing the weaknesses. And then you will provide a personal reflection in the concluding paragraph. In the second method, you summarize one of the main points and analyze the strengths and weaknesses, all within one paragraph. Then you move on to the next main point and do the same. You add the concluding reflection paragraph. In the concluding reflection or response paragraph, you will add your response to the reading. What ideas did you find interesting? Why did you find them interesting? Even if you do not like the essay, you should still be able to find something interesting about it. Share that here. Do you agree with the author's message? How well does the author convey his or her message? What flaws did you identify? Besides the concluding paragraph, avoid using first and second person speech in the essay.